Hey guys, Randy Orton Fan 2011 back here once again for the NNSCRA Dairy Queen Knockout Series. We are now in the Sweet 16 round, so there are 16 cars left, and it's going to be much more important now that we are into the second round. And joining me in the broadcast booth is none other than your NNSCRA President, Seth Cole. How are you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm really looking forward to this. Even though I was eliminated in the very first round, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to seeing the talents these drivers are going to bring here in the Sweet 16.
Well, yeah, it was kind of a heartbreak for Seth Cole, the NNSCRA President, after being upset by William Duncan in the first round, but he's looking forward to these Sweet 16 matchups as the pace car makes the left turn to pit road. The 1 seed Aaron Williams versus the 9 seed James McLeod. One of these drivers will advance to the Elite 8. As we await the green flag, there is the green flag, and we are underway here at M&M Super Speedway.
You know, basically, a lot of times in certain series, you'll end up having the best for last. We're starting right off here with the best two very talented drivers in Aaron Williams and James McLeod, and you can bet these two, they're not going to cut each other any slack. They both want to win this one.
Well, Aaron Williams took the inside advantage right away on the first lap, so Aaron Williams will have the advantage, but never count out James McLeod. He could pull off something out of the hat here as they go down this long back stretch. You're going to see speeds reach really high here in this super speedway because this is fairly large. Watch them as they reach just about 250 right at the end of the back stretch.
I'll tell you one thing I was noticing, especially in the first round, was drivers, when it's one-on-one, it's much more difficult for the driver running position number 2 to be able to make the pass for the lead because he doesn't have a drafting partner behind him. So really, if the number 2 driver is going to get the lead, he's got to earn it, and he's got to dig hard because he's got no backup behind him.
Well, they're going around with 2 laps to go, and yes, that's going to be a tall task for James McLeod because right now he's behind the back bumper of Aaron Williams, and of course he can't afford to lose this one because I want James McLeod to make a good run at this one, but never count Aaron Williams either. And yes, it really is tough in these one-on-one races because you're not in pack racing, so it's really hard to make a pass here on these one-on-one races, especially on these super speedways, as we take the white flag with 1 lap to go.
Now, James McLeod, he's basically, from the drop of the green flag, stuck behind Aaron Williams by about maybe 1.5, 2 car lengths. That may be just some strategy. Maybe he's just riding there and biding his time so he can make a move here in the back straightaway.
Well, maybe that might be the case here, because James McLeod did get the 1 to go, so if he might make the pass on the inside, that might open the door for James McLeod. But remember, a mistake on Aaron Williams could actually open the door for James McLeod. But it doesn't look like Aaron Williams will buy into that as they'll go through turns 3 and 4.
I don't think McLeod's within striking distance.
Doesn't look like that. He's going to come off turn 4 cleanly, and as it comes to the stripe, it'll be Aaron Williams who will advance to the Elite 8.
If anybody could have knocked Aaron Williams off, it probably would have been James McLeod, but Williams answered the task here. He never looked back as soon as he got ahead of James McLeod.
Well, Aaron Williams will advance to the Elite 8, but I kind of got a feeling there our next matchup, the 12-13 matchup, and surprisingly the 12-13 matchup. I didn't expect to see the 12 and 13 seeds in our next matchup, which are Evan Gattuso and Rihanna Taylor. I kind of got a feeling.
Gonna be big.
I kind of got a feeling by the time the Elite 8 comes around, one of those drivers is going to knock off Aaron Williams off that pedestal.
Hey, it only takes one mistake for that to happen. You could be very well right.
Well, Aaron Williams will savor this victory for the moment as Aaron Williams will advance to the quarterfinals, which is the Elite 8. Stay tuned, guys. The next matchup's coming up next, the 12-13 matchup, and that's Evan Gattuso and Rihanna Taylor. Stay tuned. All right, we are back for the 12-13 matchup between Evan Gattuso and Rihanna Taylor, and these were 2 guys that actually came up with major upsets in the first round of this tournament.
Yeah, and I think that especially when you think about it, this is almost kind of the same scenario where Rhett Yates, who ended up finishing 3rd in the PRWC Adidas Knockout Series, he ended up being one of these kind of drivers that people didn't really look at, and he ended up becoming a big top contender in the Final Four, so that could take place here with one of these 2 drivers.
So I'm kind of getting the feeling that Evan Gattuso or Ryan Taylor could be that driver that actually knocks Aaron Williams out of that final four. The pace car is going to make the left turn to pit road. So this is probably going to be one of the more interesting matchups that we have seen in this NNSCRA Dairy Queen Knockout Series. And we await the green flag. There is the green flag. Here we go with the second of our Sweet 16 matchups.
I was taking some notes on the Aaron Williams-James McLeod matchup, trying to see if I could find anything that these drivers can use as a bit of like a homework assignment or whatever to try and get a little bit better if they're in that number 2 spot, as we see Evan Gattuso be that number 2 car. But it seems like you want to get...
Seth? 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 Well, we kind of lost Seth there for a while, but as they come off turn 4, Ryan Taylor is going to have the lead. And Evan Gattuso is going to have to think about something with 2 laps to go here. We're having some technical difficulties, by the way, because we kind of lost Seth in the middle of it, but we'll see if we can get him back somehow.
Okay, I think I'm back.
All right, there he is.
I apologize for that. My wireless network not working very well here.
Yeah, I kind of can understand. But Evan Gattuso, he's on the same spot as James McLeod was in the very first matchup.
Almost a mirror image of what McLeod was. Still about 2 car lengths off the back bumper of the leader. And I think I cut out in the middle of what I was saying before. I think I come down and take the white flag, so I'll quickly say it. You want to get back behind the leader as quickly as possible. You don't want to be rim riding for a long time there when you take the green flag, and I think both McLeod and now Evan Gattuso did the exact same thing.
Well, they take the white flag. Ryan Taylor, if she doesn't make a mistake here, she could actually be the first female driver to make the Elite 8, and also don't forget Alexander Williams, but that will be in the away conference.
Yeah, and Ryan Taylor, in both this matchup and her previous matchup, which got her into the Sweet 16, she's been dominant in those races.
Well, yes, she is. As they come off turn 4, very likely Ryan Taylor, Evan Gattuso doesn't have anything in him, and it looks like Ryan Taylor, and she will. Ryan Taylor moves on to the Elite 8, and she will face Aaron Williams in the quarterfinals.
That'll be a matchup that'll be very interesting to see.
And again, this is the same situation that happened in the first matchup. Evan Gattuso probably doing the same thing that James McLeod was doing, and I don't know. It's just that it's really hard to make these passes on super speedways because you're going one-on-one with someone rather than going in a pack.
Yep, the drafting partner, that's the missing element in this.
Yeah, so it really does make a difference in these knockout series. But Ryan Taylor will savor the moment, and she will get to face one of the best names in the PRWC and NNSCRA, Aaron Williams. Guys, don't go away. The next matchup is coming up next. It's Dylan Poteet and Xavier Livingston. Stay tuned. We're back for the third matchup of 4 in the Sweet 16 of the home conference in the NNSCRA Dairy Queen Knockout Series. It's the 2-7 matchup between Dylan Poteet and Xavier Livingston, 2 PRWC members.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good matchup because these are 2 seasoned veterans. They know what has to be done. And really, I think you're going to see side by side for most of this race, and going to be interesting to see yet if any driver is going to have caught on to the fact that you got to tuck in right behind the leader in order to be within striking distance on the last lap.
Well, Dylan Poteet is the higher seed, so he has chosen the inside. Looks like he has been doing his homework so far, but I kind of got a feeling Xavier Livingston might pull one out of the hat here. As the pace car will make the left turn to pit road, this will be probably a very interesting matchup to say the least.
You know, just a little aside here, just a thought. If a driver running in second lets the leader get out ahead for a little bit, that would take the speed off of the leader, and that may allow the second place driver to close in. Just a little thought there. I don't know if these drivers would want to use it or not, though.
Well, yeah, maybe these drivers may have to be aware of that. And Dylan Poteet kind of got a decent start there, and he will have the inside advantage, and he will take the lead as they come through turns 1 and 2.
Now notice how Livingston has let Poteet get ahead by about 3 car lengths. A lot of distance between himself and Dylan Poteet. This could be the strategy that he's using that I just suggested.
That might be it. And but yes, as they're going to reach really high speeds here, and yeah, it looks like Xavier Livingston might try to catch up here as we take a look at our bird's eye view camera.
Look at the run he's getting off turn 4.
Oh yes, Xavier Livingston might actually have a chance at this. Who knows Who knows if he could actually pull something off with 2 laps to go. It does seem like that he's just a little under 2 car lengths back. But remember, remember, there's 3 laps to this race. Remember, it's the leader at the checkered flag that moves on to the Elite 8.
That's right. It's exactly right.
And you see here, it looks like Dylan Poteet's starting to lose a bit of speed. But I mean, Poteet's really hanging tough on that as the leader. But I think Xavier Livingston might have something up his sleeve on the final lap here.
Now, see, Livingston at this point is caught between a rock and a hard place. If he moves out of line, that yes takes the draft off the 02, but it also would cause the 20 not to be able to get up to the back bumper of the 02, so he's got to make a split-second decision here on the last lap.
Well, here they go to take the white flag. Here we go. Xavier Livingston's looking to the inside, looking for the lead.
Poteet's got a block. He's not going to be able to.
Oh, they're side by side as they go through the backstretch. Oh man, this could be Xavier Livingston's big break here.
Poteet's got the advantage heading into this third turn.
But
Can he keep it?
But Xavier Livingston's got the inside advantage, and as you know in my series, the inside advantage is what everyone wants to have. And Xavier Livingston's going to clear Poteet on the final turn, turn 4, as it comes to the stripe, Xavier Livingston pulls off the upset over Dylan Poteet.
Oh my goodness, beautiful pass by Xavier Livingston there, and Poteet, I think he could have kept the lead. He didn't want to really pinch down the 20 against the apron, but wow, what an amazing finish right there.
I think Xavier Livingston might have kind of got that message that you were talking about, Seth. I think Xavier Livingston actually got it, and he made his move at the right time.
Yes, he did, and he actually did it when he was on lap 2, I think it was. He was 2 car lengths back, just like we saw McLeod in the first matchup. And so I thought this is going to be just the exact same thing where he's going to run behind him. But he got the run down the back straightaway, which allowed him to make that move. Textbook pass by Xavier Livingston.
And therefore, Xavier Livingston will move on to the quarterfinals, the Elite 8, and he will face either Tony Blazer or Rhett Yates in the Elite 8 round. Boy, what a race that was.
Those 2 drivers were watching this, because whichever one makes it into the Elite 8, they've got a tough competitor in Livingston to face off against.
Well, we got the final matchup in the home conference coming up next. It's going to be Rhett Yates and Tony Blazer. Stay tuned. And we're back for the final matchup in the home conference in the NNSCRA Dairy Queen Knockout Series, and this is the 6-14 matchup between Tony Blazer and Rhett Yates. And it looks like Tony Blazer has the higher seed, has chosen the outside. Looks like he's been paying attention to the previous matchup, which was Xavier Livingston and Dylan Poteet, when Xavier Livingston kind of stayed back and then made his move on the final lap.
Every driver has a reason that they do something, and I think you may have hit the nail right on the head there with Tony Blazer taking the high side. I think that's exactly what he did, but you gotta bet that Rhett Yates, knowing that he had to start on the inside line, he's got his own strategy worked out as well. He may take a page out of the book of some of these other drivers like Aaron Williams, who started on the inside line in the first race.
Well, the pace car is going to make the left turn to pit road. Let's hope for another interesting matchup, especially our previous one. 2 very notable rookies in my league as they take the green flag. Oh, Rhett Yates got a nice jump on the start, but I think Tony Blazer might pull something out of the hat here.
A lot of people may think that I'm, at this point, a big Tony Blazer fan because of Rhett Yates eliminating me in the very first round, but that's not the case. I got a tremendous amount of respect for Rhett Yates. He's a phenomenal driver, and I'm telling you what, he's certainly showing some dominance here.
Well, Tony Blazer is. I got a feeling Tony Blazer might do the same thing that Xavier Livingston was doing, but we'll have to wait and see. It looks like Rhett Yates has about 2.5 car lengths on Tony Blazer at this point.
We'll have to see how close up to the back bumper Tony Blazer gets to the 18 here at the start-finish line. If it's about 2 car lengths, he's doing exactly the same thing that happened in our last race there.
Well, that is the case. Tony Blazer a little less than maybe about 1 3/4 of a car length behind Rhett Yates at this point.
Rhett Yates running just a little bit higher on the racetrack there. That could be to get some extra momentum down the back straightaway, so that way Tony Blazer doesn't get run on him, but Blazer's coming.
Here we go. We're going to take a look at our bird's eye view camera. Tony Blazer's starting to catch up just a little bit, but is he going to have enough to pass Rhett Yates on the inside? There he comes. Looks like Tony Blazer is going to go on the inside, the WOSCT President, looking for a big win over what could be the Cinderella story of the tournament. They'll take the white flag, and Tony Blazer has the inside advantage so far. But I kind of got a feeling Rhett Yates...
Rhett Yates.
Oh, Rhett Yates went really high on the
I'd be
racetrack.
dragging the brake.
Rhett Yates went really high on the racetrack. Now Tony Blazer's got the lead.
Rhett Yates, he's still within striking distance, though. He didn't let Tony Blazer get away.
He's not going to let him get away too easily. And maybe he might... Oh, Rhett Yates went to the high side.
Oh, wow, what was that?
Oh, man, that might end Rhett Yates' Cinderella run. And that might be the case right there. Tony Blazer, the WSCT President, and he will advance to the Elite Eight. He will face Xavier Livingston. I kind of got confused there. He will face Xavier Livingston in the third round. Oh, how many times am I going to fail? Wow.
That was a big-time mistake by Rhett Yates. I'm not exactly sure what he was trying to do there. I think he was getting a run on Tony Blazer there through turn 3 as well, and if I were him, I would have put it down to the inside. I'm not exactly sure what the plan was there.
Yeah, a very questionable decision on Rhett Yates' part. Maybe another rookie mistake. But Tony Blazer, he's got to be happy about that. He ends the possible Cinderella story of Rhett Yates, and he will advance to the Elite Eight to face Xavier Livingston. And I think that was just another case of what we've seen in the previous matchup between Dylan Poteet and Xavier Livingston, if you remember that matchup.
Yes, I do, very well.
That was another one of those big things that has happened. It's the guy in that outside line, and Tony Blazer just has been doing his homework. He paid attention to the previous matchup, and he ends up winning.
Yes, he did. Now, I don't know. We weren't able to have like an onboard or anything with Rhett Yates. I don't know if maybe there wasn't enough room to go down to the low side underneath Tony Blazer, but still, from what I was able to see, we had a good view from the bird's eye camera there with the helicopter view, and it just seemed like Rhett Yates tried to do something that's never been done, and it didn't work.
Very questionable decision on Rhett Yates. Unfortunately, that will end his Cinderella story run, but Tony Blazer will come up with the big win, and he will face Xavier Livingston in the Elite Eight. And that's it from the home conference. And Seth, I really want to thank you very much on the commentary. But hey, guys, I got a surprise for you. Seth is actually going to commentate the entire Sweet 16 round with me. Yay!
Yes, indeed.
All right, guys, that's it from the home conference. I'll see you all in the away conference. This is Kevin Rabinall, Randy Orton Fan 2011, signing out.